still have a lot of that stuff around the painting and stuff?
Yeah, I've got a fair amount of it still kind of tucked away somewhere. There was one.
Is it any of that stuff you put on your website?
No, not really. No, that's mainly just kind of tucked away in a folio somewhere. Actually, God knows where the bloody thing is. Actually, to think about it, to be perfectly honest, there was one. Actually, no, tell a lie. There was two pieces that I did. One was a piece that I did on board that cost me a fair amount of money with regards to oil paints that I did. And when I was a student at uni, the bed was really kind of bowed. So I ended up putting this painting that's like thick, you know. It's like a good chunk of like fibre. The thing is, it was fibreboard. Fibreboard, as you know, is kind of like it's okay until it's lightweight, but if you exert a certain amount of stress on it, it will break.
It's like a plywood, a mixture of materials glued together.
It's made up of wood fibre. It's like a pulp, but it's kind of a little bit stronger than obviously paper or cardboard or something. But it's like about yay thick. So I did this piece on this black and white kind of monochromatic piece on it when I was doing my A-levels, and I stuck it when I was at uni underneath my bed just to kind of strengthen the bed base. And I think I had a couple too much to drink one night and just jumped on the bed and I had a cracked like bollocks. That didn't looked at it, oh fuck. So yeah, that went in the bin. The other one was, and if my father ever sees this, he's going to kill me for saying this, but I did a piece back when I was doing my A-levels that I was really, not necessarily really proud of, but it was one of my main final pieces, and it was I'd say about 3 or 4 feet high by about 8 foot long. It was kind of this long kind of piece that I did on fibreboard. This time it was kind of like a thinner kind of material, but again it was oils, and it would cost me a bloody fortune.
And what is this image of?
It was a landscape. During that particular time, I was influenced by there's a war artist during the First World War called C.R.W. Nevinson, and he was a kind of like a famous war artist at that particular point in time, and he was one of the kind of forefathers of like neo-cubism, and he had a very strong style, very monochromatic style. Almost, I mean, if you look at the characters that he painted. There's one piece that he did called La Mitrailleuse, I think it's called La Mitrailleuse, that's it. If you look at the actual designs of the characters, they almost look polygon shaped. They always look low poly, the actual style of them. And it was like I say, there's a guy like with a kind of like a Gatling gun, machine guns, and the guy kind of in pain in the trenches. I say he spent time in the trenches and painted the agony and the emotion within them. And that kind of touched me from a young age. I actually saw his piece from a very, very young age within a book that I had that I used to do my homework from, and from that I just kind of followed his progression and followed his work that he did in the later years, and it was always this one piece that always kind of came back to. So I developed style based on that. So I painted this landscape piece. It's kind of like First World War kind of like landscape piece for one of my final pieces I was doing my A-levels, and I was quite proud of it, and finished it, varnished it, and I went away to university and came back and went back to uni and then came back and so on, during holidays and so on. And I left this piece lying in my bedroom, just taking up space. So I came back one day again. My father's going to kill me. And I got back and went upstairs to my room and was like, this piece was gone. Like, what's going on? What's going on? So I went downstairs like, Dad, I was going to take the painting down to Leicester. What's going on? Oh right, yeah. I think you didn't want it. You just kind of left it there. No, I was going to stick it up in the hallway at the house. Yeah. I kind of took a jigsaw to it, and it's now flooring in the loft.
It's flooring.
Yeah, he went right up the jigsaw or something, and apparently it's in the loft somewhere now in various different pieces.
Well,
So,
at least if the picture part was
yeah,
facing upwards, that would be an interesting floor.
That would actually, yeah, I think it's kind of face down or something.
Yeah.
But worst case scenario, at some point when he's asleep, I can just go in there and just break it up and glue it back together. In theory, maybe it's the alcohol talking.